Hey everybody, welcome back. Working with Attila again this evening, and again just kind of reminding everybody that we're starting a new adventure here coming up, and I am taking I have room for two donations. Very gracious person, and I matched it with one. Wanted to see people get help, and it was right up my alley, so we got to talking about it. And part of the reasons I've been so good over the years and had so much success dealing with troubled horses is I had a lot of trouble, and horses were my escape. And so when I met Buck Brannaman and his story and his childhood, if you get a chance to watch Buck the movie, it's here on YouTube, so I strongly encourage it. And there's a book, The Faraway Horses. Shameless plug. Just a friend of mine and probably one of the greatest horsemen alive today. And when I met Buck, it really associated, because I grew up loving the horses. And when I was rodeoing, it was all about force and pressure and leverage and get the job done, and how fast can you get it done. And so when I met Buck and got into horsemanship, my horse became the priority. Where a lot of times people go on to rodeoing or doing a job, the horse loses out so that they can feel better about themselves. So trying to win or be faster or get a ribbon or create more leverage or pressure. And see, that's the trouble with life, is there's pressure everywhere. And so the horses are under quite a bit of pressure, and they're just trying to please. But yet then we think we need a long shank bit to make them do something. We get to where we think we need a sharper set of spurs to get something. When you're dealing with an animal that can feel a fly land on him in a windstorm, and rather than, if he's not doing what you want him to do, teach him, work with him, get him to understand, we put more pressure on him. Or we simply go through the slop. So as we're going here, I want to talk a little bit. We'll still kind of work the flag here, but he still gets a little worried, but he's trying to tolerate it. His head's not up so high. He's not always having to speed it. I'll kind of rock the boat a little from time to time, and I want him round. I could use him a little rounder. We don't want to pick too much, though, but round from the tip of his nose to the tip of his tail. And so we can push that body out and try to get him to step up underneath a little more. There, like that. Good. And then I don't want him to surge. And then a lot of people will just stop here. And he did step over behind kind of incidentally through the time, but I want to get control of the hind feet. So if I tap him here, I don't want him walking forward. I want to block the forward with my directing hand and have him roll those hind over. If I had trouble, I could go back, change hands here where I could keep him a little more forward. But I'd like to be here so that when he gets forward and he gets rhythmic and he takes out some of that tension, that's the whole object, not to just do one step and change sides. I want him to move his butt a little more and engage and soften at his head there, like that. Good. Now, when I bring the front, a lot of people will walk around this where they'll just stop and lead him here. But I want him to rock back so that he reaches back and has to engage that hip underneath him and can reach that foot out and back so that he puts me in this balance point so I can go forward. So I'm using that horse to try to do it, but as you can see, he gets a little tight sometimes. it's way better than it was. And if he does, just like you or I want to work him through till it takes lightness into understanding. Now, the front steps is way better, but we're just kind of doing one step. And I've been doing a few steps with the hinds, so we want to work the front quarters a little bit in balance. They don't have to be perfect, but I want him working at it a little more so he has to yield here. Good. So you don't want to be, I see a lot of times, dogs out, Uno out. People get so picky that the horse can't do anything right. I say I see it, you spot it, you got it. Because I've done it. And I'll probably do it again. Because it's hard work, and sometimes there's a fine line when you're balancing the horse lightly. There's a fine line sometimes between being particular and being picky. So anyways, we were talking too. There, that's a little better. A little too forward with the front end. Want him to stop the front end a little more. There we go. But step out with that outside shoulder. There we go. And then reach out and back. Uno, you're not supposed to be in here. Good, out and back so that he crosses over and puts me by that shoulder. Takes him like 3 or 4 steps, but we'll release on a good one. So if you happen to know of somebody that you think might want to be around horses, learn horses, it's not so much a riding thing. We might get to riding, but it is working with the horses, and some of it's just the piece of cleaning stalls, to be around the horse. Cathartic things that sometimes we take advantage of. Feeding, petting, brushing. Learn to feel that animal and truly spend some time so you get some understanding, rather than just work, if you will. Need to be behind that. See how that hind end washes out? I want him to put a little more weight like that on that left hind. Good. Now we'll kind of bounce the saddle. Good. Now he can go forward. So if you happen to know of somebody, you can email me. I'm not good at putting stuff down below, but my email address is pauldietshorsemanship@yahoo. And if you don't at least get a reply, do it again, because I have tens of thousands of emails that I don't get time to read. And I do want to take the time. It's just there's a lot in a day, and I'm not much of a computer guy. I'd rather ride horses, so it's kind of like the videos, and the videos kind of led me on that. It's just a way to kind of give back and help other people. And of course, again, it's like us, and that's why I'm such a big proponent of finding Christ, is because, like I said, there is enough pressure around the world. So it is a Christ-centered teaching program on the horses and getting out of trouble, and that redemption that you can find through the horse. I remember when I was a kid and I was younger, and I'd be at some of Buck's bigger clinics, and there'd be thousands of people. I was very shy. But when I'd work a horse, it was just me and the horse. And I'd hear Buck's voice kind of talking to me. Half the time kind of saving me from getting bucked off, chastising me about something. But that's how we learn. So, again, I get a lot of horses in training that have been through trauma, that are scared of some things, and you don't have to be afraid type person, but if you can understand some trauma and want to learn some things from the horses to work through that, let me know. So we got a good start. Man, it's looking like it might rain. Hopefully we finish, but beautiful sunset. I guess you guys won't get to see it so much. But if you have any questions, leave them in the comments there. Again, that's a nice little warm-up. It's not perfect. This is pretty relaxed, but it's better, and his feet were pretty smooth, so I don't want to pick on it too much, even though it could get better. We want to go on and put a little ride on him, and I'll do that in another video. So thanks for watching. Remember, enjoy the journey. Happy trails.